Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Emma Bobbins. I am Emma, where we talk about all things cross-stitch. Today we are going to be going through a book that I bought in a charity shop. This is Cross-Stitch Characters by Adele Wellesby. I thought it'd be fun to go through some books because these are old. These are really old. I bought this one in Elgin. So Elgin is a town just north of Inverness. We live in Glasgow. I'll put a little map up just in case you're not too sure on the geographical location, because it's kind of not really a big town, and it's kind of like northeast of Scotland, but not really that north. It's not far from Inverness. It's maybe about a half an hour drive. And there was a charity shop there, and this is kind of like when I was really starting to get into cross stitch, and just by chance I'm like, I'm gonna go in and see if they have anything related to cross stitch, and they did. The first shop, they had loads of other books as well for cross stitch, and I was like very restrained. Even though we had the car with us, I could have bought far more. I could have bought everything, but it was very restrained. So I picked up this book, and it was only $2.99. And as you can probably tell, it's quite old, and it's very cool because it's got Wallace and Gromit and Little Miss and Little Miss and Men. Is that how you call them? Mr. Men and Little Miss. That's it. I'm not going to show you the patterns. Obviously, I'm just going to have a little flick through and see what patterns I might like to stitch, because I feel like with magazines I just look through and I'm like, oh cool, and then I never actually do anything with them. And I would like to take the patterns from the books and get them into at least a PDF, and at least I've got them somewhere digitally that I can actually just, you know, kit them up. I don't have to go searching and hunting for books. Yeah, let's just get started then. Got my tea ready. This is a very precarious setup, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna go with it. So this is Adele Wellesby's cross-stitch characters, so it includes Wallace and Gromit, Percy the Park Keeper, The Large Family, Harry and the Bucketful of Dinosaurs, Brambley Hedge, Mr. Men and Little Miss. And this was stuff maybe quite close to my childhood. Wallace and Gromit for definite, and Mr. Men and Little Miss were my jam when I was growing up. Let's have a look at the book, what's inside. In this book there is more than 40 designs. Each design is finished in a unique way, so it's not just necessarily cross stitch for hanging. There's lots of different ways you can finish them off. And if I can find any links to this book, I will link it in the description box. I will do my best. This was published in 2002. Wow, so it's like over 22 years old. That's kind of wild that this has been going that long. Nice little introduction there. And then we start with The Large Family. So The Large Family was created by Jill Murphy and tells the trials and tribulations of everyday life through eyes of a family of elephants. I don't have any recollection of The Large Family at all, so excuse me if I get some things wrong. Okay, so I've got a birthday card from Troy and a birthday card from my parents to cover up the patterns there. The first one we've got is this, they call it a placemat, so they've got baby large, and it's 105 by 105, so about 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches on 14 count Ada fabric flare. I have heard of that. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said in my previous videos, I'm not 100% confident with like fabric and stuff like that. That's not just plain Ada that comes from Hobbycraft or Zweigart. This asks you to use DMC flosses with some medium interfacing and a backing fabric and a sewing thread to stitch it all together. The design would also look wonderful made into a cushion with a fringed edge. Or you could put them on a pad, a t-shirt, or a pocket on a pair of dungarees. Actually, that would be really cute. So they use 16 different colours, some backstitch and some French knots, and then there's space to put a name in it too. Would I stitch them? No, I don't have any affinity, is that what you call it, to The Large Family, so not something I would stitch, unfortunately. Okay, next page is a pencil case, and it's got these two as examples. But actually there's another one with the, I think it's the oldest son, it must be, in his blue pyjamas playing a recorder or something like that. So that's not on here, which is a shame. Anyway, so this is these two plus the third one is 142 stitches by 76, so about 10 by 5.5 inches. And this is asking for 14 count snow blue fabric flare Ada as well. DMC colours again, some lining and a zip. This uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 23 colours with some backstitch long stitch and 2 colours that one of them is used in the normal cross stitch, one of them is not, and then some French knots, so only one of those colours is used, the others are not, to make the pencil case. I'm not sure exactly what this is. Why not stitch Baby Large's teddy bear on 14 count fabric for a fun clip for holding paintings or stories? That's actually very, very cute. Again, not something I would stitch. And then the next one is a ruler. So this is just a border. It comes on page 11. Oh, so it's the border that was on the very first pattern on the placemat. Again, not something I would personally stitch. I have this terrible, terrible ruler that I use. It's actually great. It's so like strong. And this has been in the family for centuries. So that's my ruler. But I know the kind that this one is asking for. It's like it has like little clips on the edge of it. Or for the pencil case with these 3, you could have them stitched around a mug. I don't know how you would stitch that onto a mug. Like, how would you keep that clean? Unless it's like a pocket insert or something like that. That would be quite cool. Next one is Mrs. Large's bath cushion. This is Mrs. Large has at last managed to slip away from her children and has a lovely hot bath in which she's enjoying a long soak, or so she believes. 5 minutes piece doesn't seem too much to ask, but children usually have other ideas. I know, Mrs. Large, I get it. I don't even have kids, and I get it. She's so cute. In her little bath, drinking her little cup of tea. She was reading her newspaper or magazine there, but she's, get that to how I want to soak, please. Very, very cute. So they've put this onto a cushion, which actually works really well with the colour scheme, but not something I would do personally. I'm just not going to do any of these large family ones, even though they're very cute. This one is 89 by 73, 6.5 inches by 5.25 inches. This is asking for cream 28 count Joblin. I don't know what the fabric flare number is. I need to read up on this. I'm not sure. DMC thread, some Bonder web, some yellow fleece, some green fleece, and a neck cushion. A blow up neck cushion. Like the one that you put in the shower? Oh yeah, because it's a bath cushion. Yeah, it's in a bath. Yeah, sorry. The bath cushion uses 36 colours in normal cross stitch. And then in the back stitch, another 1 colour that isn't used in the design, and then 1 colour that is. So 2 colours for back stitching. The next series we're on to is BRAMBLEY HEDGE. I have never heard of this before in my life, but it's very cute. It's Jill Barklam's series of books about the mice of BRAMBLEY HEDGE are a delight and fruitful source of cross-stitch inspiration, as this chapter shows. So Poppy Trousseau's Box. These 2 little mice here, they're so cute. This is saying that it would work for a newly married couple. That I would totally agree. That's very cute for them. It's 100 by 79 stitches, including the names and dates. It is approximately 7 by 5.5 inches, and it's calling for English Rose 28 count Joblin. Also using DMC threads and a pine box. Interesting. A card, some wadding, and strong sewing thread. On this page is just lettering, which actually is quite nice, so I might save the lettering for another day. I can just get out my trusty post-it notes so I can mark that I want to save that one. Not using a full one because I don't have time for that. I don't have small ones. These are gigantic, so you know. The pattern for the mice is very cute, and it has forever and ever at the top here. It's very cute. And this uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 colours, plus some backstitch, long stitch. I guess that's just for the names and the lettering. It also uses the lettering for this forever and ever cushion. So it's a ring cushion. If I was getting married and doing the whole traditional ceremony, even if I wasn't, I would probably make something like that because that is adorable. This is adapted from the box, so it uses some of the flowers that are on the design and then just the lettering that was used. That's a really cute idea. Even if you were making that for someone, imagine keeping that and having that as like a little reminder of the day. There is pretty minimal colours actually used in this. It's only 4 colours, and that's mostly for the flowers on the edge there and some backstitch in probably whatever colour you want. They've used kind of like a bronzy browny colour here. They've made it 64 by 62, so about 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. And this is calling for English Rose 28 count Joblin again. DMC, it uses Mill Hill maroon heart-shaped buttons just to go on there, on each corner. A backing fabric, the lace as well. I'm not too sure about lace. I'm not 100% sure. Like, I don't really like lace all that much. But if that's your thing, then more power to you. This uses some sewing thread, obviously just to attach the lace, and to bind the cushion edges together. Uses some wadding and some rings. You can get them apparently from Frame Craft, but I would use your own rings. And then some maroon and cream ribbons just in the centre there, just to tie your rings on. Next up is this naming sampler. As the sun begins to sink in, Jill Barklam's spring story, an exhausted but happy Wilfred Toad flax is wheeled home after his wonderful surprise birthday party. Oh, I've never done a sampler before with a name. I tend to go towards more modern designs, but I think I would really like to do one of these samplers at some point. So this is 153 by 117, approximately 11 by 8.5 inches. This uses blue Forget-Me-Not 28 count Joblin fabric and DMC colours as well. I love the name. That's really nice lettering actually as well. I have to use the dust cover to cover up some of this pattern, it's too big. So this uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 different colours. And again, uses backstitch in a colour that's not on the cross stitch list, and uses some French knots as well, again in the same colour as the backstitch. So this page here is just basically like saying you can use the bricks at the top of the previous pattern and just colour them as you want basically, and just write a name in it for a new baby maybe, or just as a gift. And they've just stitched this onto some toweling with some waste canvas. They've used it also on a pot lid as well. Okay, next we're on to Primrose's night case. This lovely design is taken from Jill Barklam's Autumn Story, one of her delightful chronicles of life in the hedgerows. Look, it's just so adorable. It's sleeping. They've made this into a pillowcase. I don't know what a night case is. I'm guessing it's like a pillowcase. Oh, 100% sure actually. So this design's 136 by 118, 9.75 inches by 8.5 inches, and this is calling for honeysuckle pink 28 count Joblin. DMC again, and it's asking for white satin lining as well. This night case uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 28 different colours. Some backstitch and fringe knots in a not cross-stitching colour, so on their own colour. Okay, next up is these Dreamy Star cushions. So the poem from Autumn Story used on the night case has been adapted to create 2 smaller designs. So these star-shaped cushions, those would be really, really adorable for like a new baby or something. Obviously minus the buttons and actually maybe stitching on the fabric. This is 2 slightly different sizes actually. Oh look, it's got a template there as well for the star. It's very helpful because I can't draw a star to save my life. Calling for 2 pieces of honeysuckle pink 28 count Joblin fabric. Obviously it's just kind of pinned on there, so I don't know if you could maybe use some waste canvas and just actually stitch it directly onto the fabric there. To make this, again, DMC colours, some gingham fabric, Bondi web, some wadding and some buttons, and again some machine thread just to sew it all together. Next chapter, Percy and the Park Keeper. I was probably a little bit old for this when this came out, but I do vaguely remember it. Percy the Park Keeper is a wonderful creation of Nick Butterworth. Percy, a cunningly, fun-loving character, first appeared in the much-loved illustration books, but he also now appears in animated films shown on TV and video. Oh my gosh, video. This shows you how old this is. Okay. That's very cute on the bag. So we're into like a little pencil holder. That's very cute with the little bunny in them all. So in a bumpy ride, Percy is busy for 3 whole days. As his animal friends try to guess what he's making, he suddenly emerges from sitting on top of a very strange machine, which is a special lawnmower. 120 by 112, 8.5 inches by 8 inches. 12 by 12 cream 14 count Ada. Oh, we went down and counted Ada there. DMC, some corrugated card, backing card, some adhesive tape, double double-sided tape basically. Oh, actually the design is this. Yeah, the art folio. Sorry, I was looking at the pencil pot here. It's actually this. Art folder, it uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we'll go through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 23 colours. Plus some backstitch in 906, that's fine, that's in there, and 3799, which is also in there, and also some French knots. I love the badger. Like, are we actually going to go anywhere or not? Okay, next up is the Percy and the Park Keeper breath sampler. So this charming sampler features Percy and his animal friends in their idyllic world. I love the style of these characters. These individual designs could be stitched and framed to make a lovely collection of pictures. They would. They would, even if you had like a long piece and just use the leaves to kind of break them up in between each other, and then maybe you could have Percy along the bottom or something like that. This design for this size anyway is 163 by 204 stitches, so that's about 12 by 14.5 inches, and calls for cream 14 count Ada, and also uses DMC floss. Uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 30 colours, plus some backstitch and some French knots as well, which is all in the cross-stitched colours. There is some lettering on this page, but I think it's quite plain. It's not anything too complicated. Percy and his animal friends picture. Percy the park keeper is having a well-earned rest from keeping his park tidy. He's leaning over a wall, looking at the view, and he's joined by all his friends. Look at the little... I don't know what that is. Is it a chicken? I don't know. It's fluffy though. So they have put this... Oh, that is adorable. They've put this in a frame. Oh, I don't know. I have no affiliation with Percy either. Affiliation? What affinity? Like, I've never watched it before. I don't really relate to it all that much, but that is so cute. Look at the bunny playing with the little, is it a mole? Something like that? I'm not sure. It looks kind of like a mole. This design is 170 by 81, 12 by 5 3/4 inches, and calls for yellow 14 count Ada, and uses all DMC colours as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 31 colours, including B5200, and includes some backstitch and some French knots and some of the cross-stitch colours too. On to my favourite, Wallace and Gromit. I loved Wallace and Gromit. They're just great. Wallace and Gromit have captured the hearts of millions thanks to the imagination of Nick Park. The first design on here is this Porthole Picture. Wallace and Gromit don't do anything by half. Their idea on a grand day out is to make a space rocket and fly off to check the flavour of the cheesy moon. This is 80 by 80 and is about 5 3/4 inches in diameter, and is called for on buttermilk 28 count Joe Blanc fabric. Uses DMC, asks for mounting board and black and white and some lacing thread and some double-sided tape just to make that porthole frame work. Yeah, so it says the ideas on here would look wonderful stitched onto a t-shirt or sweatshirt. It would look great on the back of a jacket or something. It would look amazing. And this only calls for 9 threads plus some backstitch in black and some B5200 and French knots. So actually not that much. Next up is this Moonscape Duffel Bag. I would love to make a bag like this, especially I've got a sewing machine now, so I could actually make something pretty decent out of it. Look, he's eating his little, is that butter or crackers? I think it might be crackers and cheese. Oh, that's what I could have for lunch, crackers and cheese. And a grand day out, our two adventurous friends have landed on the moon and settled down for a fine picnic of crackers and cheese. I was right, it is crackers and cheese. 120 by 90, 6.5 inches by 8.5 inches on navy blue 14 count Ada with DMC floss, and this asks for silver thread as well as a separate colour. I can't exactly see where the silver is on the image, but I'm sure it's in there somewhere. This uses the fleece obviously for the bag, some rickrack braid to make the handle, some eyelets and a tool to do the eyelets, and some navy cord. Wait, what's the rickrack braid? Oh, the rickrack braid. Is that maybe? Yeah, I think it might be this edging here. Oh, it actually gives you instructions how to construct it all, or you could make it on, you know, a bag that you've just picked up. So this uses 22 different colours for the cross stitch, including the silver thread, and also calls for back stitch in 3799, 318, and the silver again, which we all have in the cross stitch colours, and also in the French knots too. Next up is Shaun the sheep. I think everyone knows Shaun the sheep, but it was originally in WALLCE and GROMIT. So he's famous for wandering in and out of scrapes without ever seeming to know he is there. As long as there's something to eat, he is happy. I mean, I think that's something I kind of aspire to, I'm going to be honest. The stitch count on this is 90 by 100. That's approximately 6.5 inches by 7 inches. And it calls for light blue 28 count. Danish flower thread as in chart key. Don't know what that means. Danish flower thread. Rainbow gallery thread. Some DMC floss. Some purple gingham fabric and pink also. Some rickrack braid. There's the braiding here. Some bobble braiding for the outside, some sewing thread and stuff to put in the cushion. Tells you exactly how to put it all together, and it uses only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, so it uses the DMC colour, some Danish flower thread. I don't even know if you can still get that or if that's a thing. I'm not sure. I'm still learning, so please let me know in the comments if you know any better. Also uses some DMC in backstitch and French knots. It uses the Rainbow Gallery Whisper thread. So one colour and that. It also says you could make this into a patch pocket to decorate another garment like a bib, dungarees and apron. Next up we're on to Harry and the Bucket Full of Dinosaurs. Again, I was a little bit old for this when it came out, but I love dinosaurs. My favourite best boys. So when Harry helps his nan to clear out the attic, he finds a dusty old box, and lifting the lid he makes a wonderful discovery. Dinosaurs! This is making a toy tidy, which is very cute, but don't know what size toys these are supposed to be because they're tiny. It's like pen size. Harry, like most of us, is fascinated by dinosaurs, and he goes to the library to find out all their names: Ankylosaurus, Apatosaurus, Coelosaurus, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, and Tyrannosaurus. Yay! So this is 6 different designs you get here. They are approximately 10 by 8.5 inches each. Obviously this is making use of the whole pocket there. Uses DMC threads, some rickrack braid on the top again, some dark green cotton fabric to attach them all onto the back, some sewing threads to attach them all, some ribbon, I don't know where the ribbon goes, and some wooden doweling to hang it. Yeah, these would make really cool patches or something like that. So the Triceratops uses 6 colours and some backstitch in black, 3799. Apatosaurus uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colours and backstitch again in 3799, and the Coelosaurus also uses 4 colours and the same backstitch in 3799. So they slightly differ in size, as do dinosaurs, of course. Then for the Tyrannosaurus, uses also 6 colours, some backstitch and some French knots in the cross-stitch colours. The Ankylosaurus uses 3 colours with backstitch and French knots also in the same colour, and Stegosaurus uses 6 colours with the same colour backstitch. I don't know if I would stitch these or not. I think I maybe would actually, so I'm going to rip off my post-it note. Okay, next up is Harry's toy sack. Harry loves dinosaurs and knows all their names, which turn out to be very useful in the end. Yeah, that's the little design there. It would look very cute if you maybe wanted to put that in the frame. So this is 111 by 127, so approximately 8 by 9 on light blue 28 count fabric with DMC threads, and also calls for some contrasting fabric here with sewing thread and just some cord to make the drawstring. I think these are TY teddies actually that they're using the props for, some of them. 29 colours in total, plus some back stitching and French knots in the colours that you are using for cross stitch anyway. And my favourite, Little Men and Mr. Miss. Mr. Men and Little Miss. It is hard to believe that Roger Hargreaves created dynamic characters of Mr. Men and Little Miss over 30 years ago, which is probably now over 50 years ago. These will be really versatile patterns to use in whatever you like. So you got Little Miss the Bar, which is this cover here. You're using 18 count Afghan even weave as Zygarde, DMC floss and just sewing thread to put it all together. You could mix Mr. Men and Little Miss to make a larger Afghan throw over a chair or bed, or a smaller piece into a cushion cover. Baby brick that we kind of seen on that first page as well. And this is literally like you pick the designs that you want and you can just throw whatever on there. That's very cool. So this uses 18 count Afghan even weave fabric again, DMC threads, squares of medium weight iron-on interfacing, some wadding and some sewing thread. The pattern page is very hard to show you because there's just Little Men and Little Miss everywhere, but they use between 3 to 6 colours each, generally only have some backstitch, no French knots. So on the designs you have Little Miss Bossy, Little Miss Naughty, Little Miss Fun, Little Miss Scatterbrain, a flower, and a border, and a Little Miss Sunshine too. And we go to Mr. Man. Mr. Greedy, he's my favourite. It's always a pleasure to receive hand-stitched cards, and Mr. Men are such fun as they make ideal subjects. They've made them into cards, so again, you could do them really any way that you want. And for each card, it's saying 5 by 5, 28 count, white DMC floss, and some double-sided tape and some card. So you got Mr. Grumpy, Mr. Muddle, Mr. Happy, and Mr. Greedy. And again, these use about 4 to 6 colours each, and they all use some sort of backstitch as well. Oh, this little pocket is adorable. Little Miss Splendid has just paid a visit to the extra expensive shop, every girl's favourite pastime. This is so old. So these designs 31 by 42, 2 1/4 by 3 inches on 28 count cream maran fabric, DMC thread, some beaded braiding for the bag, some sewing thread, and a tote bag that's ready to go. Look at the phone holder. Look how old that phone is. It's got an antenna on it. For Little Miss Chatterbox. So that's 3 by 3 inches. You would need a way bigger phone holder nowadays. 40 by 42 stitches and 28 count maran fabric and DMC floss. And it also lines it as well, which is quite interesting. On this page we have the Little Miss Tiny Makeup Bag. Look at it, it's so small. I would make something like this. It's quite easy actually for a little pouch for just knickknacks, paddywhacks. Uses 28 count maran fabric, it's about 42 by 30 stitches, 3 inches by 2 1/4 inches, DMC floss, some gingham fabric for the top there, some sewing thread, and some pink cord just to make the drawstring. I might thingy that because I'm getting really into my sewing nowadays, so something like that seems really easy and cute to make. Oh, Mr. Bump, poor Mr. Bump. This is for a boot bag, 42 by 42 stitches. The design's about 3 by 3 inches, and it's calling for white 28 count fabric, DMC floss, a red ribbon for the outside, blue gingham fabric to make the bag, some sewing threads, and some white cord just to make the drawstring. Okay, so Little Miss Chatterbox, Little Miss Splendid, Little Miss Tiny, and Mr. Bump, 3 to 7 colours, and some of them do use backstitch. They've also added in designs for Mr. Tickle, Mr. Funny, and Mr. Strong as well. And they're all about 3 to 6 colours too, and some of them use backstitching, but not a lot of them. And this has come to the end. Oh look, it gives you all these details about different techniques, hoops, threads, fabrics, waste canvas, metallic threads, lots of different stuff, how to do all your stitching, how to do better stitching, which I'm pretty sure will still be relevant actually. And yeah, that's us. All done. My first 2 floss tubes I filmed back in December. So it's currently the 6th of January. And I think I'm going to keep the filming like that. I'll maybe film like 2 to 4 videos in advance and then just have like a couple of weeks to edit everything and upload everything. It's probably going to work better for me. Just want to say thank you so much. I am overwhelmed by the support on Instagram and on my first floss tube. My second one hasn't gone live yet, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of you lovely people supporting me, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. I never expected that type of response. Thank you so much. You're awesome, and I feel very loved already in the community. It's such a nice cozy feeling. And with that, I will leave you. Next week we will be looking at the Celebration cross stitch by Jane Greenoff. I can't really see the the title because of the lights reflecting on it, that I also picked up at the exact same time. Then the week after that, I think we're going to go through my wish lists, which is going to be really interesting because there's a lot. I'm not going to lie, there's too much that I could probably ever stitch in my lifetime unless I become a professional cross stitcher that doesn't work for anyone really apart from myself and I could just stitch all day. That is the dream, isn't it? Well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Love you, bye! Hello everyone, welcome back to Emma Bobbins. I am Emma, and is this mic even working? Yes it is, yes it is. That's a good sign. Okay, start again. Hello everybody, welcome back to Emma Bobbins. I am Emma, and... No, sorry.